Sir. Sir, here.
Sir, here.
Thank you. Sir, here.
Sir, here.
Sir, here. First visit, this is symbolic. Thank you very much.
It is indeed a pleasure to welcome Your Excellency the second meeting of the Joint Ministerial Committee for Bilateral Cooperation. Ours is a multifaceted and mature relationship underpinned by a convergence of political, economic and strategic interests. As pluralistic democratic societies, we share similar perspective. I am glad to note that our bilateral relations are proceeding at a good momentum. I hope you and your delegation will have a pleasant stay in Delhi. Excellency, I now invite you to make.
Excellency, first of all, let me put in record our deepest appreciation for the very warm hospitality that has been extended to me and delegation. We've been extremely well looked after, and we are ready to review what has been achieved since the first JRC and the state of relationships. I think there's much to be happy about, and there's a lot of potential in the relationship. So, thank you extremely. Our Prime Minister in July this year, at which we
Ladies and gentlemen, before the press interaction, the ministers will exchange the minutes of the second Joint Commission meeting.
Sir, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to this media session. As is usual, we will request the two. We'll begin with the External Affairs Minister of India, Shri S.M. Krishna. May I now invite him to make his opening remarks.
Your Excellency, Minister for Foreign Affairs, Law, Mr. K. Shanmugam, friends from the media. Minister Shanmugam and I jointly co-chaired the second meeting of the India-Singapore Joint Ministerial Committee for Bilateral Cooperation. India-Singapore bilateral relations are broad-based and multifaceted, underpinned by convergence of political, economic and strategic interests. In the meeting, both sides expressed the common desire to seek new areas of cooperation that would take the partnership to an even higher level. We noted that India-Singapore ties were buttressed by a healthy exchange of visits between leaders and officials who embraced a shared vision of the value and importance of the relationship. Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh visited Singapore in November 2011. We look forward to the successful visit of Singapore Prime Minister Mr. Lee Hsien Loong to India in July 2012. Both sides expressed satisfaction at the excellent state of bilateral economic relations, including the growing flow of investments between the two countries. We look forward to an early conclusion of the second review of the Comprehensive Economic Cooperation Agreement, which has emerged as a cornerstone of our bilateral economic relationship since its signing in 2005. We reviewed our bilateral defense cooperation, which is wide and intensive. We discussed cooperation in the areas of science and technology, education including skills development and training, culture, among others. In the field of skills education and training, we noted the potentials that exist for mutually beneficial cooperation. Our Ministry of Labour and Singapore Ministry of Education have had detailed discussions on specific areas of cooperation. The government of the National Capital Territory of Delhi is also developing specific projects for a world-class skills training centers. Friends, we discussed India's engagement with the ASEAN, which is one of the cornerstones of our foreign policy and the key pillar of our Look East policy. Both sides look forward to the ASEAN-India Commemorative Summit in New Delhi in December 2012. We also had detailed discussions on the regional situation and the major developments in the area. The two sides had very fruitful discussions on various aspects of our bilateral relations in today's meeting of the Joint Ministerial Committee. Thank you.
I request the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Singapore to make his brief opening remarks.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I think you've given a very comprehensive assessment of the state of our relationships. If I may just add some brief additional remarks. First, of course, to express our deepest appreciation to Your Excellency and the Ministry of External Affairs of India for hosting us and hosting this joint ministerial committee, the second meeting that you have had, and the excellent hospitality and arrangements that have been made for me and my delegation. This is my introductory visit, first visit as Foreign Minister, obviously not the first visit to India, but first visit as Foreign Minister. And the JMC is a unique platform for us to discuss a wide ranging of issues, both between our officials and at the ministerial level. And as a platform, very frankly, to share views and to deepen and strengthen the relationship and to take it further. And this JMC has been extremely fruitful in that context. As Your Excellency has remarked, India and Singapore enjoy very long-standing relationship underpinned by strong political relationships, strong economic relationships, strong strategic relationship. And your Honorable Prime Minister visited us late last year. Our Prime Minister will visit this year. And below the Prime Ministerial level, because we have had very substantive ministerial visits, Your Excellency visited us earlier this year, and other ministers frequently visit each other as well. On economic ties, as Your Excellency has remarked, after CECA has been signed, really the economic trade relationship has taken off in a very substantive way. Bilateral trade now stands at something in the order of $35 billion. I think the Singapore now is the largest trading partner of India from ASEAN, and India's FDI into Singapore as well as Singapore's FDI into India are both growing very substantively. I think Singapore is now the largest source of FDI into India other than Mauritius, whereas India is the 8th largest source country for us. So both sides are benefiting, and in that context, I think quick and expeditious conclusion to the review of the CECA that our two countries are undertaking will benefit both sides very substantively. Your Excellency has mentioned defense. I entirely concur. It's a key pillar of our relationship. And in terms of the other areas, the JMC explored a number of areas that are of mutual interest and benefit to both of us. Your Excellency mentioned education. We are very keen to work with India in this area because everyone knows India is a demographic dividend, and that it will be extremely helpful for India and the world and ASEAN for the young population to have the necessary skills. And we will be happy to share our experiences in that context. And we hope that an MOU can be signed when our Prime Minister visits to seal that aspect of the partnership. If I may, in addition, mention the technical assistance that we are both hoping to combine together and provide to third countries. Your Excellency mentioned that. We could also, I think, strengthen even further the very strong connectivity that our two countries have. We talked about that. Today we have close to 200 flights between India and Singapore, and the passenger traffic has been growing very significantly. Grew 8% last year, grew 14% in the first 5 months of this year. And I think the more we can do to strengthen that, improve further the connectivity, the greater the flow of people between Singapore and India, and that will benefit both sides. I'm looking forward to visiting both Assam and Gujarat. And on Assam, as I told Your Excellency, it is part of our own Look East policy to complement your Look East policy. And I look forward to my visits. Thank you, Your Excellency.
The two ministers have agreed to respond to one question each. Ms. Chavi from Channel News Asia.
Good afternoon, sir. My question is to the Singapore Minister. Sir, I would like to know, given the recent developments in India as a slowing economy and also retroactive tax proposal, has that impacted the investor confidence in Subway in Singapore?
I think you've got to take these things in context. When you talk about a slowing economy, you're talking about slowing from 8% to 7% or something slightly under 7%. But if you compare that with what the rest of the world is doing, I think not many people would consider that a slowing economy. We are talking about a very substantive economy growing at 7% or so, and there are tremendous opportunities. The Singapore's position has always been that we look at the government as facilitators. We facilitate trade, we facilitate investment. We see plenty of opportunities both ways, which is why we are suggesting that the review of the CECA be expedited. And the results are there. Since we signed the CECA in 2005, the growth in trade, the growth in investments is there for all to see, and both sides have benefited. Of course, investors look for certainty, they look for the right framework, because capital can go to many places in the world. And whether the specific legislative framework is accommodative or less accommodative is a matter for the Indian government to work out together with the investors. We as friends can offer some views on the side, but really investors will work out for themselves how best to work in any particular environment. Thank you.
Mr. Dipanjan from Doordarshan.
Sir, I'm Dipanshu from Doordarshan. Question to Mr. Krishna. Sir, it's not related to this. Today, Supreme Court has directed Center to eliminate this Hajj subsidy over the 10 years, over the period of 10 years. What's your comment on this?
Well, I have just heard about the decision of the Supreme Court. I have not looked into the details of the judgment. And when once we get the judgment, and perhaps that would be the time when I can react. I'm afraid you will have to wait till I go through the essence of the judgment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. With that, we come to the end of this interaction.